Hey, welcome to another video. This is on experiment 5 on qualitative inorganic analysis. Qualitative inorganic analysis aids us in determining the presence or absence of a particular substance. So during this lab, you're going to be testing 4 different unknowns. They're going to consist of white solids, and you're going to use different qualitative schemes in order to determine what these substances are. So you'll be able to test out these substances directly by adding different reagents that will cause it to react in a characteristic ways. So once you evaluate these characteristic ways, you'll be able to cancel out what things may not be and then keep on going until you figure out what it'll be in the end. I'm going to go over a couple of general qualitative analysis of experimental techniques. Adherence to these following techniques should enable you to avoid most problems that occur in qualitative analysis. So the first one is that all of your equipment should be cleaned with tap water and completely rinsed out by deionized water. This eliminates any contaminations that may occur during your experiment and allows you to have a pure solution, so there's no mistakes. The next general qualitative experimental technique that should be followed during your lab is to always have a 250 milliliter beaker that's 3/4 full of hot deionized water available so that it can be used for hot water bath. So this water should be boiled to its boiling point and then turn your hot plate to low settings so that it keeps heating but it doesn't keep boiling. So the next technique is on centrifuging. So a centrifuge is a machine with a rapid rotating container that applies a centrifugal force to the contents inside. So this is typically used to separate liquids from a solid. So we want you to make sure that no precipitates are adhering to the inside of the walls. So first start by using a few drops of water to make sure all of the precipitates on the side of the walls are inside of the test tube. And then you'll put this test tube inside of your centrifuge and let it go on for about 15 to 30 seconds until everything is completely separated. When making a solution more acidic or basic, you simply have to add acid or base to the solution and make sure you stir it thoroughly so that the whole thing is mixed up. You then start by taking your stirring rod and you remove a small drop of the solution with the stirring rod, and then you apply that drop to a litmus paper, and then you observe what happens. Never take the litmus paper and directly put it into the beaker, because it's not how we test out whether something is acidic or basic. When mixing an unknown with a solvent or another reagent, place a parafilm securely over the top of the test tube and then shake gently. The way you use this parafilm is you typically just take it, cut it, and then place it over the test tube so that there's no bubbles or anything around it, and then gently shake it so that there's no solution falling out of that test tube. So lastly, experimental techniques on the flame test. When you're placing the swab into the flame, make sure that you're only putting in the saturated tip. Do not put in the wooden portion of the swab. And when you're finished, make sure to put your swab in water and then discard it in trash, because sometimes there might be a flame still in there. You don't want to burn up the trash can, so make sure the water on the swab before you throw in the trash. Very important.